When we think about blood sugar, most people imagine it rising only after eating something sweet or starchy. But in reality, our blood sugar can fluctuate throughout the day for many reasons, and understanding these changes is the first step to controlling them. When blood sugar spikes, glucose builds up in the bloodstream faster than our body can move it into the cells for energy. This usually happens when we eat high carbohydrate meals, snacks full of refined sugars, or even when we go long periods without food and then suddenly eat a large portion. These spikes are not just uncomfortable, leaving you feeling tired, thirsty, or foggy, they also put long-term stress on your organs, nerves, and blood vessels. Over time, repeated spikes increase the risk of insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and many other metabolic issues. For those who spend a lot of time sitting, whether at work, at home, or while traveling, the problem becomes even greater. Movement normally helps your muscles absorb glucose from the bloodstream, but when you are still for hours, that process slows down significantly. This is why people often feel a crash in energy after a meal when they remain seated, and why sitting too much has been linked to higher blood sugar levels. The good news is that lowering blood sugar does not always require intense workouts or long walks. There are methods you can use while sitting still that help your body regain control and balance. One of the most powerful and accessible methods is controlled breathing. Many people underestimate the impact that breathing has on the nervous system and metabolic functions. When blood sugar rises, the body experiences a form of stress, and the stress hormone cortisol can further increase glucose levels. By practicing specific breathing exercises, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's natural rest and digest mode, which reduces stress hormones and allows the body to process glucose more efficiently. Breathing deeply and slowly also improves oxygen delivery to cells, which plays a role in how energy is produced and used. A simple breathing practice begins by sitting upright in your chair, relaxing your shoulders, and placing one hand on your abdomen. Inhale slowly through your nose, letting your belly rise as it fills with air. Hold this breath for a moment, and then exhale gently through your mouth, allowing your belly to fall. This is called diaphragmatic breathing, and just 5 to 10 minutes of it can calm the mind, lower stress, and indirectly help bring blood sugar levels down. Another variation is the 4-7-8 technique, where you inhale through your nose for a count of 4, hold the breath for a count of 7, and exhale fully through your mouth for a count of 8. This pattern of controlled breathing creates a deep sense of relaxation and balance, which helps your hormones and nervous system regulate more effectively. In addition to diaphragmatic breathing, there is also alternate nostril breathing, a practice borrowed from yoga traditions. You gently close one nostril with your finger, inhale deeply through the other nostril, then switch and exhale through the opposite side. This method is believed to balance the left and right hemispheres of the brain, reduce stress, and promote overall stability in the body. Since stress is one of the biggest triggers for blood sugar spikes, even small reductions in mental tension can make a meaningful difference. The combination of understanding what causes spikes and using breathing to counter them provides a powerful toolkit, even when you are sitting still. Many people think they need to wait until they are standing, walking, or exercising to take control, but the truth is that change can begin from the chair you are sitting in right now. Just a few minutes of conscious awareness and controlled breathing can help stabilize blood sugar levels, calm your mind, and protect your long-term health. When people imagine lowering blood sugar, they often think of jogging, gym workouts, or long walks. But what if you could help your body manage glucose without ever leaving your chair? The truth is, even the smallest muscle contractions create a demand for energy, and that demand encourages your body to pull glucose out of the bloodstream. Seated movements may look simple, but they are powerful tools for blood sugar regulation. Think of them as little switches that turn on your metabolism, waking up your muscles and improving insulin sensitivity. One of the easiest seated movements is foot tapping. By rhythmically tapping your feet on the floor, you activate the muscles in your calves and thighs. These muscles are some of the largest in the body, and even mild activation encourages glucose uptake. You can do this while working at a desk, watching TV, or sitting in a meeting. Another great exercise is seated leg raises. While sitting upright, straighten one leg at a time and hold it parallel to the ground for several seconds before lowering it back down. This engages your quads and core, increasing circulation and stimulating energy use. Arm movements are just as helpful. Simple bicep curls with no weights, shoulder rotations, or even pushing your palms together firmly in front of your chest can activate the upper body muscles. The goal is not to build strength in these moments, but to remind the body that energy is needed now. Every contraction, no matter how small, signals the body to move glucose out of the bloodstream and into the cells. Doing a few minutes of these movements after a meal can make a noticeable difference in blood sugar control. Another overlooked technique is seated marching. While staying seated, lift one knee at a time as if you are marching in place. This movement improves circulation, engages the core, and boosts glucose metabolism. You can do it discreetly under a desk, while on a phone call, or during long flights or car rides. The important point to remember is consistency. Performing these short bursts of movement several times a day is more effective than doing nothing for hours and then trying to compensate with one big workout later. Your body responds best to frequent reminders that energy is required. While the physical side of blood sugar management is important, the mind plays just as large a role. Stress is one of the biggest hidden causes of elevated glucose levels. When the body senses stress, whether from work deadlines, emotional tension, or even overthinking, it releases cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones prepare the body for fight or flight, flooding the bloodstream with glucose to provide quick energy. But when you are sitting at a desk or on a couch, you don't actually use that extra glucose, and it remains in circulation, raising blood sugar. This is where mind-body practices such as meditation, mindfulness, and visualization come in. Sitting quietly with eyes closed, focusing on your breath, and letting go of stressful thoughts sends a clear signal to the nervous system that the danger has passed. As cortisol levels drop, glucose levels often follow. Even 2 to 3 minutes of mindfulness can shift the body into a calmer state, preventing unnecessary spikes. Visualization can also be surprisingly powerful. While seated, you can imagine your muscles actively using glucose, picture yourself walking in nature, or mentally rehearse calming scenes like ocean waves or gentle rain. These mental images engage parts of the brain that influence physical responses, helping to calm the nervous system and stabilize hormones. Pairing visualization with breathing or gentle seated movements makes the effect even stronger. Meditation does not have to be complicated. One simple practice is to close your eyes, breathe deeply, and silently repeat a calming word or phrase with each exhale, such as peace or relax. Over time, this trains the body to associate stillness with safety, reducing the tendency for stress-driven glucose spikes. Together, seated movements and mind-body practices create a powerful strategy for controlling blood sugar. On one hand, the movements directly use up glucose by activating muscles, and on the other hand, meditation and mindfulness prevent excess glucose release caused by stress. The combination is especially useful for people who spend long hours in chairs, students, office workers, drivers, or anyone with limited mobility. With just a few minutes of practice spread throughout the day, it becomes possible to lower blood sugar naturally, without standing up or breaking a sweat. One of the most underestimated ways to influence blood sugar is through hydration. Water is not just about quenching thirst, it plays a direct role in how the body processes glucose. When you drink water, it helps the kidneys flush excess sugar out of the bloodstream through urine. Staying hydrated also prevents the blood from becoming too concentrated, which can make glucose spikes feel more intense. For people who spend a lot of time sitting, it's easy to forget to drink enough water during the day. A simple habit like keeping a glass or bottle near your chair and sipping regularly can make a big difference. Even 2 glasses of water before or after a meal can help stabilize sugar levels. Along with water, small nutrition hacks can be applied while sitting to control blood sugar. For example, if you reach for a snack, choosing something with protein, fiber, or healthy fats will prevent rapid glucose rises. A handful of almonds, a small piece of cheese, or pumpkin seeds can balance blood sugar far better than cookies, crackers, or candy. The reason is that protein and fats slow down the absorption of carbohydrates, creating a steadier release of energy rather than a sharp spike. Fiber-rich snacks like carrot sticks or apple slices with nut butter also work well. Timing is another factor. Eating smaller portions more frequently, instead of heavy meals with long gaps, reduces the chance of dramatic sugar fluctuations. For people who remain seated most of the day, this can prevent the sluggish feeling that often follows large meals. Even the order in which you eat matters. Starting with vegetables or protein before carbohydrates has been shown to improve glucose control, because fiber and protein slow the digestive process. So, if you are sitting down for a meal at your desk, try eating salad or protein first and finishing with starches last. Caffeine and sugary drinks are another important consideration. Many people rely on soda, energy drinks, or sweetened coffee when sitting for long hours, but these beverages quickly elevate blood sugar. Replacing them with plain water, herbal teas, or even sparkling water with a squeeze of lemon is a much healthier option. If you do drink coffee, having it unsweetened and alongside a protein-based snack can minimize the spike. These small adjustments don't require leaving your chair, they are simple swaps that make a noticeable difference. All of these hydration and nutrition hacks can be tied together into a daily routine. When combined with breathing exercises, seated movements, and mindfulness practices, you have a complete sitting strategy for blood sugar control. For example, after eating lunch at your desk, you could start with a glass of water, do 2 minutes of seated leg raises or foot tapping, and then spend another 2 minutes practicing diaphragmatic breathing. This entire routine takes less than 10 minutes but has a powerful impact on how your body handles glucose. The key is consistency. Doing small actions multiple times a day works better than making one big effort once in a while. Think of it like giving your body constant reminders to stay balanced. Instead of waiting for blood sugar to climb too high and then reacting, you are training your system to remain steady. This proactive approach reduces the highs and lows that make you feel tired, moody, or unfocused. Another benefit of a sitting routine is that it fits into any lifestyle. Office workers can practice discrete movements under a desk, travelers can do breathing exercises on a plane, and older adults with limited mobility can stay in control without needing to stand up. The flexibility makes it realistic and sustainable, which is what matters most for long-term health. Dr. Mandell often emphasizes that small changes, when done consistently, lead to big results. Lowering blood sugar while sitting still is not about doing something extreme or complicated. It's about creating a series of simple habits: hydrating, choosing smarter snacks, moving gently, breathing deeply, and calming the mind. When combined, these actions not only help regulate blood sugar but also improve overall energy, focus, and mood. By practicing this routine every day, you give your body the tools it needs to stay balanced, even in a sedentary lifestyle. It becomes clear that you don't always need to hit the gym or go for a long walk to take control of your health. Sometimes, the chair you're sitting in can become your greatest tool for healing, balance, and prevention.